which says, 12 through 16, hearken unto me, O Jacob, and Israel, my called. I am he, I am the first, I also am the last. Mine hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heavens. When I call unto them, they stand up together. All ye assemble yourselves and hear, which among them hath declared these things? The Lord hath loved him. He will do his pleasure on Babylon, and his arm shall be on the Chaldees. I, even I, have spoken. Yea, I have called him. I have brought him, and he shall make his way prosperous. Come ye near unto me, hear ye this. I have not spoken in secret from the beginning. From the time that it was, there am I. And now the Lord God and his Spirit hath sent me.
Okay. Next.
Verses 12 through 16.
Yes.
A tender appeal is made for Israel to hearken unto the Lord. The characteristics of God, which have been described in chapters 40 through 48, are briefly summarized. If Israel sincerely believed these truths about God, they would have faith in him as their only hope of deliverance. In light of his power and purpose, which had been revealed to them through his prophets, the Lord gave assurance that he would use Cyrus to deliver his people from Babylon. Let all come ye near unto me, hear ye this.
Question or comment?
Well, there again, he talks about using Cyrus.
And he did.
Many, many moons before he used him, before he even came on the scene.
Ezra?
Had Israel only been faithful, God's deliverance would never have been necessary. Isaiah 48, chapter 48, 17 through 22. Thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord thy God, which teacheth thee the prophet, which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go. Oh, that thou hadst hearkened to my commandments, then had thy peace been as a river, and thy righteousness as the wave of the sea. Thy seed also had been as the sand, and the offspring of thy bowels like the gravel thereof. His name should not have been cut off nor destroyed from before me. Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans, with a voice of singing, declare ye, tell this, usher it even to the end of the earth. Say ye, the Lord hath redeemed his servant Jacob, and they thirsteth not, if he led them through the desert. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them. He clave the rock also, and the waters gushed out. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked.
Takes you back to Exodus 17, and verse 6. Says, behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses said in the sight of the elders of Israel, and Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. So this was the time when he did it like he's supposed, like he should have. God is true to his promises.
Amen.
It was Exodus
17:6. Question, comment? Okay, next.
Verses 17 through 19. The Lord loved Israel and desired to lead her in the profitable way. If she had only hearkened to his commandments, she would not have suffered captivity. Her peace would have been calm like a river. Her righteousness would have wrought the blessings attendant with salvation in constant and non-ending succession, like the waves of the sea. Her seed and offspring would be as innumerable as the grains of sand on the seashore.
Okay, next.
verses 20 and 21. Israel will be delivered from Babylon and shall go forth singing. The Lord hath redeemed, delivered his servant Jacob. The description of how the Lord will provide for their needs is reminiscent of the deliverance from Egypt and of the Lord's care of them through the wilderness of Sinai.
Ezra?
Verse 22. In sharp contrast to the blessing upon the righteous, God will bring utter ruin and desolation to the wicked.
And so he did. And so he does.
If you write it as a book, that would be the ending paragraph. And so he did, and so he is. Summed up really nicely.
Yeah. An application for today.
Isaiah 47, verse 8. Babylon is the symbol or type of the Roman Empire in the book of Revelation. Cross-reference Revelation 14, verse 8, 17, or chapter 17, verse 5, 18, verse 2, 10, and 21. Both cities were the capital of world empires. Both became arrogant, worshipped false gods, and opposed people of the one true God. Babylon fell, and likewise Rome fell. Never since that time has there been a world empire, but the kingdom of God, which is worldwide in scope, continues to stand. Cross-reference Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. And those who serve the Lord in that spiritual kingdom shall be victorious and shall be blessed throughout eternity. Cross-reference Revelation 14, verses 12 through 13, and 21, verses 1 through 7.
And next.
Isaiah 48, verse 22. By God's grace, redemption is extended to the faithful, but he does not force his blessings upon anyone. Those who choose to continue in wickedness shall find no peace. Ephesians 2, 8 through 10, Acts 10, 34 through 35, and Romans 2, verses 6 through 11.
Okay, questions or comments?
I think it's really important to remember that we cannot continue in sin once we have been crucified. You know, once we've put to death that man on the cross, we need to remove ourselves from that situation, from that sin. We need to stop doing it. We can't go back and continue. There's too many out there that try to claim to be gods and yet, as in God's children, and then try to yet live the life that they want to live or that they had been living previously. Oh, well, you know, I've been baptized, or using the philosophy of the denomination. Well, I've invited him into my heart. I'm a Christian. I'm saved. And yet they go out and they live like demons the rest of the week. You know, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
God says you have to be different. You have to, and of course you have to do it.
You can do that, but there are unfavorable consequences.
Yeah, you can't do that and expect to be saved because it ain't going to happen. God says it will not work.
Okay.
That relationship is not sustainable.
It's what?
That relationship is not sustainable.
Ezra, looks like you get to start us off on the questions.
What is the difference between the God of Isaiah 46, verse 4, and the God of 46, verse 7? The one in verse 4 is alive, and the one in verse 7 is not.
Okay. Very true.
Kind of a key difference to have in a God.
So, are there other answers?
I said verse 4 has power. Verse 7 has no power. It needs to be carried.
Okay.
And that's kind of the biggest difference is in verse 4, what you have is God saying, I am he, I will carry you. I'm doing the carrying. And then in verse 7, you have they bear it. You know, they have to carry the God of verse 7. So it shows in like Hosea says, there's no power, there's nothing there, there's no life in the God of 7. Because the people that make it are the ones that have to do all the heavy lifting.
It's a dumb rock.
Or dumb piece of wood.
Okay, number 2.
When does God declare the end? From the beginning. 46%.
Okay. I think this is a verse that caught my attention. It's remember the former things of old, for I am God and there is none else. I am God and there is none like me. Declaring the end of the beginning, or end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done. And you kind of, I had to read it over 2 or 3 or 4 times to kind of get it worked in my mind what he was saying, and duh, you know, it's I think it depends a little bit on how you read it. You know, whether you put the proper punctuation and emphasis as you're reading it or not. And, you know, that says there is none like me, declaring the end of the things from the beginning. Well, that in itself would be quite a talent. And you know, then, and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done. And it just kind of paused me to think about it a little bit.
Kind of makes you think of what Genesis 3:15, you know, predicting Jesus is going to crush Satan's head all the way back at the start of the book.
Okay.
What did I go down?
Yeah, we even got help.
The closest I get to that is going, this cake is going to be absolutely delicious when it comes out of the oven. That's about as close as I get.
All right. The proof is in the pudding.
You know, when you first read verse 10, it sounds like he's declaring, okay, the beginning and the end, as in, okay, well, I'm putting an end to this. Well, yeah, I mean, the good Lord is going to end everything at some point in time. But then as you get into the context of that verse, you realize that what he's saying is he's not saying, okay, stop. But he's saying, from the beginning, I told you what the end is going to be. And that changes your whole perspective because it shows that he's an omniscient God.
Okay.
It shows his power. And it goes along with the idea that this was his plan from the beginning. From before the world was founded, he had planned for Christ to come and to save us. And that just, like you said, boggles the mind that he knew all of this before he even created the world. yet he still went through. For whatever grand plan he has, we're not entirely certain what that all entails, but we're thankful to be a part of it.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was trying to say, just if you don't read it properly, you don't get the full benefit. It's almost like two different teachings, in the same verse or verses. And it continues some more verses right in there too, along that same idea. Ready for what else? Yeah. Or you?
What will Babylon no longer be called? In 47 verse 1, we have tender and delicate. And in 47 verse 5, we have the Lady of the Kingdoms.
Okay.
Title revoked.
What?
I said title revoked.
Yeah. Okay. Number 4. I believe that's Ezra.
Mm-hmm.
What did Babylon say to herself in the time of prosperity? I shall be a lady forever. 47 verse 7.
I have verse 8. You say in your heart, I am, and none else is beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. She said that during her time of pleasure, when she dwelt carelessly. Verse 8. Which is what I took to be her prosperity.
Yeah, that's kind of throws a wrench in the works. Okay, next.
Five. What was said to have perverted Babylon, their wisdom and knowledge. 47, 10.
Okay.
To whom would Babylon look to save her from destruction? I said for enchanters, sorcerers, and counselors, 47 verses 12 and 13. I hunted for this one.
You hunted for
I
this
hunted
one.
for this one.
Not near as much as I did on the last one. The four, number 4, yeah. Okay, next.
Though Israel swore by the name of the Lord, it was not in what? Not in truth nor righteousness. 48 verse 1.
Everybody agree? Okay, next.
Oh, why had God declared this to Israel from the beginning? They couldn't give credit to the idols. 48.
Okay. One thing is you learn in Bible study is that God is very, very adept at removing excuses. And this is an example.
You know, being able to know your objection before you, you even exist is pretty handy for that.
Well, he's got all the right tools. There's no doubt about that. But he likes to cover all the bases.
Yep. Think back on the list of folks that tried to, biblical folks that tried to make that objection. Moses, I can't speak. Well, then I'll have your brother Aaron do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You can just kind of go through a list of folks.
There's lots of examples.
Yeah.
Number 9.
How had God chosen to refine Israel? The furnace of affliction, 48 verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction.
And number 10.
If Israel had hearkened to God's commandments, what would have been the result? I said they would have had peace as a river. 48 verse 18.
Peace like a river.
Peace like a river. Couldn't read that without thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yes, they did a couple songs about that.
When peace like a river.
You ever read the backstory to that song?
Yes. Wasn't it when one of them was, one of the songs that we would sing is because he lost everything as he came over from Ukraine. But one of them was because, well, he lost everything.
And I believe Peace Like a River is the one written not too long after the San Francisco fire. And he watched his wife and children sink in the boat harbor. And so he sat there on the dock and composed One Piece Like a River, as I recall.
Yeah, it's well with my soul. And that's the title of the song.
Yeah. That was the one. The other one is the Ukrainian hymn. I'll have to look it up. But he came over from Ukraine. He was a refugee. And, he wrote that one as he watched his homeland disappear. Long time.
Yeah.
I think he was exiled or something.
Okay, any question or comments on the study questions? I guess we're ready for the true false.
Number 1, God purposed that a man from the east would execute his counsel. True, 46:11. If I understand the verse correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, calling a ravenous bird from the east, the man that executed my counsel from a far country. This is George likes to point out the Hebrew parallelism. It means you say the same thing, say something, two different things that mean the same thing. And this is a case of that. So this is calling a ravenous bird and a man to execute the counsel from a far country. Number 2.
Babylon showed mercy to God's people who were given into their hand. False, 47, verse 6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke.
Okay.
And that was spoken of the daughter of the Chaldeans, verse 5.
Number 3.
Babylon would have desolation brought upon it suddenly. True. 47, verse 11.
Number 4.
Israel was obstinate, with a neck of iron sinew and a brow of brass. True. 48, verses 1 through 4.
What does obstinate mean?
Think about the statement.
It's abstaining, but that's not the right word.
Rebellious.
That's getting close. Stubborn is probably the closest that I've in common usage. But you could even throw perverse in there, I think.
It's not something to be happy about.
It's not something to try to be.
Right.
It is. Yeah. Number 5.
There will be some peace for the wicked. 48 verse 22 says false. For there is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked.
Okay. Question or comment?
Reading through all this, pretty easy to tell which side you're going to want to be on.
Why do we spend so much time on the other side?
I have no clue. We're idiots.
Question or comment?
I got the research.
Research.
Where is Isaiah 47:8 quoted in the New Testament, and to whom it is applied? Revelation 18:7-8. It's applied to Babylon and those that sin with her.
Okay, was that Edward's question? Was
That
Edward?
was others. But he doesn't have it.
Oh.
So who's that one? Since Revelation figured it. Since Revelation figured it, who's the Babylon referred to?
You get varying opinions depending on who you're talking with.
Of course.
And I think perhaps it's used for more than one entity within the book of Revelation. But sometimes it's referred to the Catholic Church. It's what some people think on occasion.
Well, he said up here in his application for today, he likens Babylon to Rome, which would make sense for the Christians and under the time period of Revelation. And their understanding. Rome, Babylon, not a big guy. If you wanted an actual application for who it was.
Okay. And then the thought question.
We might say we don't make graven images and bow down to them, so we are not guilty of idolatry these days. Can we be guilty of idolatry without making molten images? And that is yes. How? When we put anything in place of God, we have made an idol. If we raise our opinion above that of God's standard, we have put ourselves on that throne. And Therefore, we've made ourselves gods. We've made ourselves the ultimate standard, and thus we are our own idol. If we chase after riches, we have made riches our idol. We chase after power or maybe the latest, greatest thing. For example, houses, cars, TVs, computers, whatever it may be. Whatever we chase after, that is our idol. That is our God. So if we chase after God, we pursue righteousness, and as 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 11 says, we're supposed to pursue after godliness and love and faith and the rest of that. I should know because that's what we were talking about in our devotion today. I can't call it off the top of my head. If we pursue after that, then we've made godliness, we've made God our God. But if we pursue after the other things, then we've made them our God. And it could be that it could be even knowledge that we've made our God, our idol. Paul gives a warning to Timothy there in 1 Timothy 6, verses 20 and 22. He says, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, so falsely so called." Well, ESV translates that as knowledge, that's so-called knowledge. I thought that was rather fascinating how it turned that, which some professing have erred concerning the faith. So some who profess to be Christians have chased after science or knowledge and have erred from the faith because they've made that their God. But we're to hold or keep the faith that has been entrusted unto us.
That holds true, especially when you look back at 47:10. What perverted Babylon was their wisdom and knowledge.
That's true.
They
Good
made
correlation.
it one of their idols.
Very good correlation right there.
Yeah. I was listening to Clay and Buck the other day. And one of them built a new house. And I don't remember all of the conversation, but anyhow, they asked him what size TV he wanted. And he said, "I want the biggest TV available." You know what he got? You know how big they make TVs? This was not a projection TV either. This was 7 foot by 12 foot. 7 foot high, 12 foot wide.
Bit bigger than 103.
Yeah.
One of
He didn't say how much it cost, though. Or I didn't hear him say how much it cost.
Larry's in-laws has TV similar. Larry's like, you can walk up to it, it's just like walking up to a window, a full-size window almost. It goes from floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
Why? You could talk and shake the hand of the person standing there in the TV.
It'd be kind of funny if he reached out and slapped you, wouldn't it?
felt good when we had a color TV. Oh, that Ukrainian one is well on the sea. Since we mentioned both of those, we'll start with 345. $345. It is well with my soul. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trial should come, let this blessed assurance control, that Christ hath regarded my helpless estate, and hath shed his own blood for my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. My sin, oh, the bliss of this glorious thought. My sin not in part, but the whole is nailed to his cross, and I bear it no more. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, oh my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. And Lord, haste the day when the shall be sight, the clouds be rolled back as a scroll. Drums shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. Even so, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. 774. $774. While on the sea hear the terrible roaring, see how the boat of my life rolls with me. In fear of death and in deepest of anguish, Lord, hear my prayer, watch my soul on the sea. Save me, O merciful Father, forgive me. How as my life with its ending I see, my youthful strength has been spent in a battle. Lord, now I beg you, have mercy on me. I have no strength left to wait on my journey. Help me to reach that fair land past the sea. Help me to travel to my native country. Lord, now I beg you, have mercy on me.